Batman, probably the best known hero DC or Marvel has ever produced. Numerous movies, a successful TV series in the 60s, great animated show in the 90s, and more video games than you can finish in a month. The man who dresses like a bat strikes fear into the heart of Gotham villains and speaks to the imagination of everyone who's seen him in action. Not only is he the world's best detective, but he also boasts the most impressive rogues gallery. Who hasn't heard of the Joker? Joker might even be more well known than Batman at this point, thanks to a stellar portrayal of Joaquin Phoenix recently. Penguin, Two-Face, Riddler, Mr. Freeze, just a small grab out of Batman's rogues gallery. All of them managed to vex the Caped Crusader on numerous occasions. With such a large roster of villains to choose from, it's only reasonable that some fall down the wayside. Some might have been killed or imprisoned for eternity. Others have turned their back on the life of crime. Let's take a look at some Batman villains you might not have heard of. I'm Chris from Learning Geek Life, and these are 5 Batman villains that time forgot. Oh my god. Oh, I'm sorry. Um, this is quite unprofessional. Can you blame me? Look at him. It is a gorilla in a clown suit, wielding a gun and a knife. And just to make it even better, he is the adopted son of the Joker. Need I say more? Yeah, really? You guys want his backstory? Fine, it's not gonna get any better. One day, Joker and his thugs were at Gotham Zoo. While his thugs were watching a snake devour a man, the Joker breaks into a gorilla enclosure, knocks out the mother, and steals a baby for himself. The Joker decides to raise his gorilla as a son he never had, teaching him everything he knows about crime. Jackanapes grows up to have an understanding and usage of the English language, and in addition, he turns out to be quite the inventor. I mean, don't question it, just take it on face value. When Joker finds out that the councilwoman wants to close Gotham Zoo, he has to put a stop to it. He and Jackanapes use rocket packs that Jackanapes has invented to break into the plane the councilwoman was in. They gas the people in the plane, and Joker hands Jackanapes a remote that he can tune into a certain frequency to make the people attack each other. Looking at the carnage, Jackanapes feel remorse for what he's done and turns the frequency to let the people attack himself and Joker instead. Joker and Jackanapes jump out of the plane to escape. Joker turns on his rocket pack, but Jackanapes refuses to do so. Joker lands safely, but Jack is nowhere to be found. A bit later, Joker finds Jack's head floating in a river nearby. He quips that he should get a refund on those swimming lessons, turns around and just walks away. That's the last time we ever seen or heard from Jackanapes. A normal man this time. Well, normal might be a bit of a stretch. Arnold Atchison is anything but right in the head. He believes he can consume the life force of his family and achieve immortality that way. However, as Arnold is a standard non-augmented human, this is simply not the case. That doesn't stop him from trying though. He kills and eats most of his family before Batman found him. Arnold fought Batman and got his ass handed to him by the Caped Crusader, always being sent to Arkham for the effort he put in. He did manage to break out each time. Last time he broke out, he hunted down the last survivor of the Atkinson family named Graham. Arnold took Graham to an abandoned refinery and strapped him into a machine that would kill him after a certain time. Jean-Paul Valley, who took up the mantle of Batman after Bane broke Bruce's back, found a hideout. The ensuing battle saw Arnold cling onto a ridge above a vat of molten metal in the refinery. Valley had a chance to save him, but let him fall in, dooming Arnold and Graham in the process. He later appeared as a ghost possessing Valley's Batman suit. Bruce, however, was back as the Batman and not impressed at all. Batman tricked Arnold to vacate the suit, which saw Arnold promptly dragged back to hell. Last time we see Arnold is when he is briefly resurrected as a Black Lantern in The Blackest Night. Lazara is a little known name to throw out there, but perhaps you know her under the name she took after her marriage, Nora Freeze. That's right, Nora Freeze is at one point awakened and became the supervillain known as Lazara. How did this happen, you ask? Well, let me tell you. Nora met Victor in boarding school, where they fell in love and later got married. It wasn't long after that Nora started feeling sick. Soon, the married couple found out that it was terminal. Although Nora wanted to spend her last year on her own terms, Victor had other plans. He put Nora in cryostasis. Becoming obsessed with curing Nora, Victor lost his job and turned to crime to fund his research, setting him up for the bad as one of the most known Batman villains. This path ultimately led him to the Society of Assassins and Nisa Radko, daughter of Ra's al Ghul. Nisa made a Lazarus pit available for Victor if he helped capture Batgirl. Victor held up his end of the bargain, but Batgirl convinced Victor that Nisa had no intent to hold up her end. Victor took matters in his own hands and threw Nora's body in the pit himself. Nora's body was broken at this point by being in cryostasis 4 days long. This allowed her to absorb the pit's alchemy. It did bring her back, but it also gave her the power to conjure up flames and reanimate the dead. Nora and Victor turned to a life of crime, despite of Victor achieving the reason he got into it in the first place. The Outsider doesn't appear on the scene for that long. He sends various villains to the dynamic duo in order to see them defeated. He also sends them coffins carrying automatons with their likeness just to send a message. He even manages to bring the hero's arsenal to life and make it attack them. Now, who is this mysterious villain, you might ask? Well, let me throw another curveball your way. The real name of the Outsider is Alfred Pennyworth. Yeah, that Alfred Pennyworth. Alfred sacrificed his life to save Batman and Robin shortly before these events took place. He was brought back to life by the scientist Brandon Crawford using a special radiation treatment. He came back an altered man, pasty white skin with black circles, superhuman powers like telekinesis, and an undying hate for Batman for letting him die. Once Batman found out the outsider's true identity, he put aside all other concerns to find a way to cure Alfred. He eventually managed to do so with the same technique that turned Alfred into the outsider in the first place. That saw Alfred return as a dutiful butler and confidant of Bruce Wayne once again. Lastly, we have the First. We're going all the way back to the first enemy Batman has ever had. Batman's first appearance is in Detective Comics issue 27. Here he takes on Alfred Stryker. Alfred Stryker was a businessman with little to no moral code. He was part owner of Apex Chemical Corporation. In his spare time, Stryker was also the leader of the Chemical Syndicate crime organization. Stryker wanted full control of Apex Chemical. He made a deal with the other shareholders to buy their stocks, but decided that it would be easier to kill them. Batman follows a trail of bodies to find Stryker as he is about to kill the last shareholder. Their fight ends abruptly when Stryker falls into a vat of acid and is killed. Now let's think about this for a second. Tied to chemicals, falling in vats, being a normal man who commits crimes. If you look at it, Stryker is the archetype for a lot of the following villains Batman faces. Joker falling into a vat of acid? Stryker did it first. Scarecrow being tied to Ace Chemicals? Stryker did it first. Penguin and Two-Face being normal human leaders of criminal organizations? Stryker did it first. And for that reason, Stryker deserves his place on this list. He simply is all villains. And there you go. That's our list of Batman villains that time forgot. Think you can stump me and recall one I don't know about? Leave it down in the comments below. If you like this video, leave a like, share this video with your friends because it does help us grow, and as always, subscribe if you haven't already. I've been Chris from Nerding Geek Life, and I will see you all again soon.